evolution, the aging of Europe, the aging of Asia and China. Because the information in China is more messy than that in Europe, we unanimously decided to use China and Japan as representative to conduct the survey in Asia. Finally, we will make a small summary. Next, let's invite first member, Ms. Narasan, to introduce her part. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Papa Narasan. Today I will presentation about aging in Europe. So the first one of the presentation is cost of aging in Europe. Cost of aging in Europe. The population aging in Europe is caused primarily by three factors: declining fertility rate, increasing life expectancy, and immigration. So the next one is declining fertility rate. Declining fertility rate. The high number of people aged 60 and older in Europe is the result of high fertility rate, with the occurring 1950 to 1960, the period after the end of World War II, was characterized by good social and economic status of the population in the childbearing age and result in the baby boom. Current low fertility level also contribute to the aging of Europe. As the fertility levels drop, the age structure of the population changes, and the number of the younger group decrease in relation to the older age group. Europe fertility rate have been less than the 2.1 children per woman standard, repayment level and our projection to remain below the repayment level in the future. So the next one is mortality. So mortality, people are living longer with a projection of average life expectancy less than 84.6 years for men and 89.1 for women by 2016. An increase of 7.9 years of life for men and 6.6 years of life for women. Compared to 2010. The longer lifespan result in the changing age structure in the population in increase the number of people in the older age group. The average life expectancy of the older population will depend on the progress in the medicine to prevent the decrease, which are the leading population cause of death. Among the top three cause of death are ischemic artery decrease, stroke, and the chronic obstructive pulmonary decrease. So the next one is in migration. People immigration and emigration for the country will cause fluctuation in the particular. No, it's not. Yes, okay. In the particular, in the size of the working age group of the population. If three are the high number of young immigration coming to the country, immigration is protected to slow the population as in Luxembourg, Switzerland, Norway, Germany, Sweden, Finland, Belgium, Denmark, Austria, and United Kingdom. Immigration would be cause the opposite effect on the population again by having people in the working age leaving the country and accelerating the aging of the population as a result. Increase of the aging population caused by immigration is protecting to a post in Latvia. So the next one is the effect. Such development are likely to have profound implications, not only the individual but also the governments, business and civil society, impacting among the other health and social care system, labor market, public finance, and pension as determined each of the covered by supplements the subject in this publication. However, the focus of the opening chapter is a set of demographic indicators that describe the latest development for an aging in Europe. So the next one is aging in Europe now. Aging in Europe now, the EU 27 million age is projected to increase by 4.5 years during the next 3 decades to the rate 48.2 years by 2050. An increase in the projection in age of the EU member states with the median age of the population projected. They rise by more than 8.0 years in Poland, Slovakia, and Malta at the other end of the range. The age profile of France, Belgium, and Netherlands and Denmark and projected to develop at a slow pace, and as their median age are projected to increase by 3.0 to 4.0 years during the period under consideration. So the next one. Response Minister. Addressing the aging challenge and turning it into an opportunity depends on the extending working life, developing supplementary pension, and ensuring that all workers have access to adequate social protection, include pension and commission support, and the member state action in this respect. So the EU developed the European years 2012 to promoting active aging as a basis of solidarity between generations. In this context, guiding principles of active aging were developed by the Social Protection Committee and the Employment Committee. The active aging index has been developed to access the untapped potential of other people. Over the past 6 years, the index has become well tested and applied in enforcement of policy reform. The Opinion Innovation Partnership for the Active and Health Aging is fostering innovation in the right healthy life expectancy. The Social Protection Committee is looking at ways to provide adequate and sustainable long-term care in the aging society by investment in preventative care. Accessibility, age-friendly environments, and more ways of leveraging care that are better adjusted to the people need to accessibility. So EU programs such as the LC and ESF have founded project to develop and apply aggressive active aging strategy. So that's all of my part. So the next one is gonna be thank you.
Okay, my name is Yang Lei. I will introduce the China's aging population. There are generally two ways on the cases of aging. One is the objective factor of the high cost of raising children. The other is the fundamental cultural change and economic development brought about by the inevitable decline in fertility. The two ways is a common way and the root point. The chart shows the fertility choice of some middle, low, and high income groups. It can be seen that citizens with higher incomes have lower fertility rates, which also confirms that the reason for the decline of fertility in China is related to economic development. And next, we see the current situation of China's aging. China has been an aging society since 2000. This table shows that China's fertility rate has continued to decline since 2000, and the rate didn't increase until 2050 when the two-child policy was introduced, but the effect was not significant. This is to 20-15 years. Then there are four aspects about the characteristics of aging, namely the large size of the elderly population. The aging process is observably slighted. The level of aging between urban and rural areas is obvious, and the quality of the elderly population continues to improve. Then, this is a specific introduction of the four aspects. The elderly population is huge. China has 260 million people aged 60 and above, of whom 180 million are 65 and above. And next, the aging process has accelerated significantly. This is all, and we can see that the aging response measures. There are three aspects to discuss. The first, guiding ideology and the starting point of the policy. The government should regard fertility policy as a kind of public investment, and the resulting increase in population and economic growth is a social benefit of public investment. And second, specific approaches to policy. One is to reduce the cost of having and raising children. For example, we should increase investment in education and medical care, and reduce medical expenses for children's births, and upbringing and education expenses for minors. The second is to improve the economic benefits of having and adopting children. For example, a maternity benefit could be provided to the mother for each birth of a child, followed by a number of periodic child support benefits. These two measures can be implemented in tandem, and only by increasing the net benefits of having and rearing children can be birth rate be truly raised. And the third, finally, the source of funds. The implementation of various birth subsidy policies will undoubtedly increase the pressure on government expenditure, but we should fully realize that appropriate subsidies will enhance long-term economic growth. Therefore, instead of levying taxes, it's better to ensure long-term national bonds to raise funds. For example, the term can be 18 years with annual interest payment, and the principal can be repaired when the term expires. The tax generated by the economic growth driven by the demographic divided in the future can be used as the support to attract market funds to finance the current expenditure of birth subsidy. That's all is my presentation of the China's aging response measure. Next, we will the Liu Yuxuan introduce the Japan aging.
Has the highest proportion of elderly people in both rural and urban area in the world, experiencing a post-war baby boom from 1947 to 1949. The second is the long-term low fertility rate, which lead to the aging of Japan's population. Due to low fertility and high life expectancy, the rapid aging of Japanese society is expected to continue. I found out the statistics website that Japan's population began to decline at the end of the 20th century, mainly due to economics and cultural factors. In 2014, the population was estimated to be 127 million. If current population trend continue, this figure is expected to fall to 107 million by 2014. In my interview with 10 Japanese friends, most of them think that Japan is comfortable and modern, so there is no sense of population crisis, and more young people delay or refuse to marry and become parents. Next page, please. We can look at chart first. No, it's the last slide. Not this slide, but yeah, thank you. We can look at the two charts first. The first one is data of Japan's real-time population survey. We found that it decreased rapidly from 2015 to 2020, which is enough to prove the seriousness of Japan's aging. The following table shows the statistics of the number of elderly people in Japan. We can see that the number of elderly people over 65 reached a peak of more than 120 million in 2015. Compared with the above the table, we can find that the elderly basically occupies the whole of Japan. Of course, it began to decline rapidly after 2020. Under these two charts, I found several data which showed the life expectancy in Japan was 85 years in 2016. Life expectancy is 82 years old for men and 88 years old for women. As Japan's total population decreased due to low fertility, the aging population is increasing rapidly. This is because Japan's improved nutrition, advanced medical and pharmacological technology, and improved living conditions lead to higher than average life expectancy. In addition, peace and prosperity after World War II were part of Japan's massive economic growth after the war, thus extending life expectancy. As Japan's elderly population spend time on hospital and doctors, the proportion of medical expenditure has risen sharply. In 2011, nearly 3% of people aged 75 to 79 lived in hospital, and 13% went to see a doctor every day. At the end of World War II, the average life expectancy for women was 54 years, and for men 50 years due to advanced in medicine and nutrition. Life expectancy at birth has increased rapidly since the 1950s. the proportion of people aged 65 and over has increased steadily before the 1980s. The increase in life expectancy led a decline in mortality, but in 2013, the mortality rate rose again to 10 per 1,000, the highest level since 1950. In terms of the elderly, Japan policy on medical welfare is perfect, absolutely perfect, and the proportion of fertility less than the elderly lead to the very serious aging in Japan. Let's continue to look at birth rate in Japan. Okay. From this picture, Japan's birth rate has been declining. Its peak in 1970s, but the birth rate has been declined due to the economic and cultural influences, just like I mentioned. I also found some information under this picture. The main reason is the economic uncertainty, immigration restriction, and couple choosing small families are having a chain reaction in the form of global population decline. It's difficult for Japan to immigrate. Coupled with the aging, it is difficult to produce new blood. And in recent years, due to the impact of global influenza on the world, it has also affected Japan's birth rate and population. The main reason for the decline in the fertility is the sharp decline in the birth rate. In 2019, only 864,000 babies were born in Japan, 54,000 fewer than in 2018. Japan's fertility rate is 1 child per woman. We are below the population replacement rate of 2%. Japan's effort to raise the birth rate have not been successful, and its population is slowly declining. Some blame the economic on the high cost of child care and the lack of stable, well-paid job and enable men to support their families. Japan is one of the countries with the lowest fertility rate and the highest life expectancy in the world, which has led into Japan's aging population. In terms of the countermeasure, the government has made effort to improve gender relation in the family. The government believes that the best option to reverse the decline in the marriage and fertility is to help couples balance their work and family role. Through policies and programs since the early 1990s, the Japanese government has expanded support for family policy in 3 areas. First is child care service. Second is parental leave plan. Third is child allowance. In addition, the Japanese government was concerned about the pressure of demographic change on economic and social service and had formulated policies aimed at restoring fertility and allowing older elderly to participate more activity in society. Okay, here I just finished my part. Let's look on the. No, I already finished it. Sorry. Yeah, and about the conclusion, we analyzed the current situation caused and the solution of aging in Europe, China, and Japan. Japan's population aging is the result of one of the countries with the lowest fertility rate and one of the countries with the highest life expectancy in the world. In recent years, due to the impact of the epidemic COVID-19, the population has changed dramatically. I hope the epidemic will pass as soon as possible. This is what we share today. Thank you for listening. Thank you.